Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of Window Shopping. I'm your host, Stephen Meade. I'm the broker here at Domicile real estate for people who love houses, which is hopefully you if you're watching this. Just as a reminder, we are a real estate brokerage here in Southern California, Los Angeles, and Orange counties, and we specialize in architectural and unique and otherwise just plain cool and awesome properties. And so something kind of maybe a little bit different today, or we're gonna go about this in a different way. And one of the things that we're gonna do a video on, so please watch our channel, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that. I'm gonna remind you again at the end. We're gonna do a longer in-depth video about this, but one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about lately is what are the things that are at least attainable, maybe not necessarily affordable, but attainable today that I don't think are going to be attainable and affordable for much longer. And the property that we're featuring is really, this isn't totally unique. It's not the only one of this type, but it sits on almost an acre of land, and it is still at what I'm going to call an attainable price point. And it's kind of a really special house that existed only in a particular kind of place in time, really kind of the late 1950s through about the early 1970s. This one was built in 1964. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up for you here. So this is 2322 Cameron Avenue in Covina, California. We'll show you the map here so you can have an idea where that is. It's about 2,700 square feet, which in 1964 was a really big house. I know today that might not seem like a huge house, but really the big thing here is this house sits on almost an acre of usable land, over 41,000 square feet. This isn't our listing, but we would love to represent you as a buyer. It is listed by Jenny Zhu of Remax Masters Realty. But let's get started. So, this house has a relatively plain facade, but you can already see here, there's some cool stuff going on with this carport, a motif that's continued on the inside, the way these gable ends have been opened up. You've got kind of a motor court area here, and then sort of a courtyard entry, which I absolutely love. Even though this is a big lot, it's pretty cool to have it kind of divided into more private and more public spaces. So if we make this a little bit bigger, this is the back deck. As you can see, it's all glass. There's a garden out the back here, views. When you're on almost an acre, really, you don't have to look at anybody else. And I think that's one of the draws. And I don't think almost an acre of land is going to be available at a reasonable price point for much longer. And by the way, we forgot to mention it. This home is listed at $1.388 million. I know that's not cheap or affordable, but I do think that is attainable, is what we're going to call that. So you've got kind of this entry here, which is it's got a front courtyard and it's a very deep overhang. This was really common in that late 50s to sort of mid 60s architecture. Front doors, not a fan of them. I think a running theme you're going to see in this house is that there's so much potential here. It just isn't really maximized. This is looking back at that courtyard with these kind of cool cantilevered pergola, really kind of an awesome little detail here. And then now this is really what you're buying in a home like this, is this open post and beam structure with walls of glass looking out into panoramic views. This kind of a design is going to feel a lot bigger than the 2,700 square feet would suggest. These are the main living areas of the house. You've got a cool recess in the brick. A lot of people 5 years ago would have told you that these chocolate brown beams and white ceiling were dated. But what are we seeing people come back to? This kind of nod to sort of early California architecture, right? Like when you think of the Missions, you think of, kind of off-white stucco or slump stone walls with chocolate brown beams. This is kind of a throwback to that design. And one thing I like is that this house is very contextual. This looks like it belongs here in California. This is a modernist ranch house on almost an acre, an actual mini ranch. Here's kind of that living room space again that you see, and you've got just glass and a deck going out here. You can see these hills. Really kind of a beautiful, beautiful look. You've got to pass through to the kitchen through there. We're going to go in there. What a cool living room this would be to kind of sit in, and you can kind of look off to the side here. Tons and tons of space in this house. They've even got an organ set up, a desk. It's kind of a large kind of library type space. It's been set up that's off the dining room. Just really walls of glass in this property. The kitchen is original, and the temptation here might be to just rip everything out. Don't do it. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, when you buy a house like this that is largely untouched from how it was originally built. I mean, yes, the flooring might be different, whatever, but nobody's really changed the layout or the idea of this house. Your temptation is going to be to change everything, and you really don't want to do that. You want to live in this house for 6 months. Also, I'm going to tell you something. These flush frame cabinets, I don't know if you can see this here, but these flush frame cabinets, they have a very clean look to them. And what I'm finding seems to be a successful renovation is, yes, changing the tile counters, going with more modern appliances, but really keeping this original cabinetry and working with it. I think preserving some of that original fabric of the house really does wonders to give you a sense of continuity. And then you've got a less formal kind of casual family room space over here. You'll notice a lower ceiling, right? This is a much more casual, intimate space. You've got some built-ins in the bedrooms. Again, today 2,700 square feet isn't a lot, but for a well laid out, single-story home, this is a lot. Yes, bathrooms could probably use maybe some rethinking even, but again, I'd really take my time with these kinds of upgrades. This is the primary bedroom suite here. There's another office space. And then you've got this deck area off kind of the side and the back of the house. It looks down a hill. I mean, all of this space really could be used or redeveloped into something. You could have a pool area in this section just down from the main house. There's so much potential with a lot like this and so much privacy. It's just something that in California is very hard to buy even. This isn't something that you can readily get. Yes, $1.4 million almost for a home that you still have to do a bunch of things to might not seem attainable. It might not seem like a bargain, but on an acre to know that you could have a property that ultimately might be worth, over $3 million. This is a long-term play for a property like this. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a map so you can get an idea where this property is actually situated. So I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. This is the 10 freeway here. And what this property does is it's actually, looking towards, trying to think what direction it faces, but you've got main Covina over here and the 210 up here, and then up here you've got foothills, and then these are the foothills of Walnut, the 60. If I move down here, you've got La Habra Heights as these hills over on this side. So really, this is one of those properties that's on this other set of hills right here. You're located right near Raging Waters, if you know where that is. In San Dimas, it's not very far. This is the 57 freeway. So, you might not have thought in your mind, I can't wait to live in Covina, but really this is actually a pretty convenient location. And I think you can get to a lot of places pretty easily from a property like this. And that's really what this comes down to. Even when you can get acreage right now, it's difficult to find accessibility with that acreage. Like, there's some great places in Fallbrook, right? On large lots, but Fallbrook isn't really particularly close to anything. This is a property that actually is close and accessible. So if you're interested in this home, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to take you over there to see it. We can give you our on-the-ground interpretation and answer your questions. If this isn't the house for you, but you love architectural homes, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us for that either. We are here for you. And once again, just as a reminder, we're a real estate brokerage here in Los Angeles and Orange counties. We specialize in architectural and unique type properties and historic homes as well, which we count as architectural. And we'd love to help you out with that. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And we will see you again real soon.